Hello everyone, it's me, Nancy Finch, doing another Tea with Nan at 12 o'clock on a Monday. And guess what? It's raining again. I love the rain, it's very cleansing, but some people are getting fed up with it now in Cornwall, but you never know. It's gonna do some good for the trees, the plants. It cleanses us and it just feels nice to listen to, doesn't it? Especially on this conservatory roof. Anyway, I hope you're all well. I've got my lemon and water again, very cleansing. I'm waiting for someone to come on here so I can send you a hug. That's what I like doing on a Monday. So it's a really nice feeling to be inside, and I hope you're all safe and well at the moment, because there's a lot of colds and flus around, isn't there? So yeah, I just hope that you've all had a good week since I last saw you. Yeah, today's Tea with Nan is all about the power of a hug. Ironic, because that's what I do every single time on here. And I thought I'd sort of emphasize that a little bit more today. And you can hear the rain. So I thought I'd emphasize just a little bit more. Someone's joined me here. So let you be the first person to have one of my hugs. Oh, it's Faye. Hello, lovely Faye. Oh, happy Monday hugs to you, darling. And today is all about hugs and how important it is. You know, even if you can't be hugged today by someone, hug yourself, you know. This is such an important thing to do for our inner child, for ourselves, for lots of reasons, really. I'm going to go through them. So, oh, and Val's here as well. Happy Monday hugs to you, my darling. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope it's nice where you are. Yes. Oh, thank you, Val. Morning, my darling. Well, actually, it's just afternoon. I'm always calling it morning because it feels like morning. But it's actually just afternoon, and I'm thinking, oh, well, it's just a beautiful Monday. I love Mondays, as you know. So, yeah, the power of a hug is what today's all about, okay? And everyone knows how lovely it is to be hugged. I mean, to get that, I mean, to say everybody, some people have an aversion to hugs, so I'll get to that later. But if you have a hug, especially when you need one, for whatever reason, doesn't it make you feel good? Oh, hi, Jane. Happy Monday hugs to you, my darling. I'm going to send everyone extra hugs today because it's all about the power of a hug. And Jane, I'm sure you know that. I mean, how many times do we hold somebody we love and we feel it too? We feel the power of that love. We feel the connection. We feel the hormone, the oxytocin that rushes around our body. And it's good for us. It keeps our immune system well. It keeps their immune system well. You know, whoever we connect with on a heart level is so important to them, to us, physical, emotional, and the law of attraction, of course, because you get more of them. Oh, hi, Annie. And collective consciousness. Big Monday hugs to you, Annie, my darling. So the more we hug people, the better it is. And I know there's been so much going on with COVID and we weren't allowed to hug. And that was really, really hard for me at the time because I'm a very huggy person. I believe in that connection, that heart connection with another person. I'm always hugging my clients, and even if they're, you know, I'm not sure if I can do this, they enjoy it, they feel it. And the heart is what we're joining with, that beautiful soul of another person. It's a namaste moment when we hug somebody. Oh, thank you, Annie. Thank you for the hearts, darling. That's so sweet. Nice way to start the week. So yeah, it's amazing how good you feel after a hug. It's invisible, it's inside. You don't see it, but you feel it. And it's so, as I say, so important to offer those hugs, especially now to people who are suffering on a mental level, emotional level. I know of a lot of people who are suffering on lots of levels, either physical, financially, you know, pressure, as I say, mentally, all sorts of things. And the pressure's building up on people. And especially if they look at world events, etc., they're not exactly filled with hope sometimes. So they're feeling that they really need that comfort, that support of a hug. And if we're in a position to give it, then do it. Of course, if it's safe, if you feel safe with that, that's obvious. But I always set the intention that I keep myself well and I allow myself to hug everyone who will allow that hug. And I do that to random strangers, actually. I do it in places that I connect to lovely souls. And I think, well, yeah, this is really important. And you never know. It might be the one thing that they really need and haven't been able to ask for. And I quite often do it to sales assistants if they're lovely and I chat to them and I just want to give them a hug. I feel it. I'm intuitive and I feel it, that they need that. And I do it and I'm safe. I mean, I'm not worried about, you know, I think the fact that you boost your immune system is so important, and that's going to help you anyway, isn't it? You know, even if you wear a mask or not. And some people are feeling they have to, but just imagine, you know, there's more germs in a handshake than there is in a hug. And I remember once going to see David Hamilton, one of my lovely people I recommend a lot, Dr. David Hamilton in London. He was doing a wonderful workshop, and he was signing his book, and every time, you know, people were coming up and they're all handshakes and thank you, and off they went. I was the only person in that queue. As I approached him, he looked at me and I didn't say a word to him, and he just said, "You don't do handshakes, you do hugs." I went, "Absolutely." And so we had a lovely hug, and everyone was looking, and I'm thinking, well, I own that. I own that feeling of I was able to connect. And some people are just, as I say, keep it to the handshakes. That's what we were taught, wasn't it, to be fair? And as I say, handshakes just kind of, they're lovely, but they're still not heart to heart, are they? So, and as babies, we loved having a hug, or it would be a primal thing. You know, we need to remember that inside us, we all have that little child, that inner child that needs that hug. And so does everyone else, you know. Oh, Lucy. Oh, how lovely. Oh, thank you for listening, Lucy. It's lovely to see you on here, darling. I'm going to give you a big hug as well. And I'm sending that with Reiki to all of you, everyone that's listening. So we actually change our biochemistry, we change our oxytocin levels, we just feel better on a physical and emotional level when we give a hug or when we have a hug. Because you can't give one without receiving one, can you? I have a lovely friend, lifelong friend, bless her, and she was brought up in a family where they didn't hug. They just didn't do it. They didn't do emotion on that level, and or connection. And when I first got to know her, this was over 45 years ago, I got to know her and I used to say, right, come here, I'm going to give you a hug. And she would just go, okay, and she'd freeze and she'd let me do it, but she was resistant because it was foreign to her. She hadn't known it before. So I just kept going with that love, just kept going with that connection. And you know, now, I mean, it took her a few years, but then she got used to the idea of hugging. And you know, right now she hugs everybody. Oh, thank you, Lucy. I got big hugs back. What a nice way to start the week. We all feel better, don't we? Even if we have a virtual hug right now, it's still better than not having a hug. Or put your arms around yourself and imagine I'm giving you a hug right now. A supportive hug. A hug that connects our hearts in a namaste moment. It's really important that we do this for ourselves or we do it for someone else. And if we haven't got someone around us, then make sure you do it for yourself. It's even more important, because we change how we interact with other people because we're feeling that lovely glowy feeling of self-support or comfort and love that we're offering ourselves. So there's lots of things that happen when we hug somebody. I mean, if you think about a child who falls over, and we all fall over in life as adults in metaphoric ways, and when we fall over, we need someone to pick us up, or we can pick ourselves up, but we still need what we used to have or what we wanted as a child. If you didn't get it, you wanted it. Someone to rub it better, to make you feel better, to give you a hug. And that almost felt like it took the pain away, didn't it? Think about that. And because you had that connection, that was all you were thinking about, all you were feeling. You weren't feeling the pain as much because of that. So I know of lots of people, as I say, who are suffering, and people that are angry, and anger is always fear. There is a reverse of fear. So if you know someone who really needs a hug, you know, I know we could be rejected, but if you feel safe enough to do so, just take that chance and say to them, you know, I just feel right now you need a hug. May I give you a hug? And give them a hug. Wow, what a lovely world we'll live in if people could start connecting without worrying about the consequence of that. You know, it's just coming from a heartfelt place, isn't it? So I have here, I wrote it out. This is something I made up a couple of days ago, but I thought this would be good for you. Oh, hi, Irene. It's lovely to see you. More hugs to you, my darling. And your lovely Tigger. So I've got 7 reasons why we should hug each other, okay? And I thought I'd tie it into the 7 chakras. Wouldn't that be cool? Then I tell you, each one of those chakra energies, which we need flowing around our body, will be stimulated by having a hug, okay? And I'll tell you why in each emotional area, okay? So first of all, you've got the first one I'm going to go for is the base chakra, okay? Here it is, okay? The red. So that makes you, when you hug somebody, you feel safe, you feel secure. That helps that one, the main battery of your body, to flow up and fix and heal and repair and to prevent illnesses throughout your body. So the red one especially, I love, this is the main, as I say, that I focus on quite a lot, because that will keep you, well, generally keep you well. Or help to alleviate, get rid of painful conditions, etc. So when you hug somebody, you're feeling safe. When you feel safe, that's the main, safe and secure, that one opens. When you are feeling, the second one here is sacral here, when you are connected to somebody, you're feeling the comfort, you're feeling their support, you're feeling a connection, a bond in that relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is. For that moment, 17 seconds actually, you're connecting. If you hug for 17 seconds, you're connecting to someone, you're bonding to them, or they're bonding to you, and that's going to make you feel good. It's going to make them feel good. So, that's lovely. Thank you, Irene. So you're bonding to another person's heart chakra, aren't you? Your relationship with them, no matter how brief, is wonderful in that moment. So that's the second chakra that gets stimulated. Of course, your hormones will be better as well, because that is in that area here, the orange area, sacral. So that's another reason to do it. Reason number 3, it makes you happy as we feel in control. We feel for that moment. We're not afraid. And that resonates with the yellow solar plexus area. So for that moment, you're not feeling fear because you're being held. It's very important to remember that, because fear is so disabling for people. And lots of people are fearful and they're all worried about something, and they hold it all inside. They don't realize it, but they're still feeling it. And it governs where their happiness is. It governs a lot of things. It takes away some of their joy. So when we're giving someone a hug, we are making them feel like they're in control, that they're safe again. But also, life is good and they're happy while they're being hugged. And you can't be fearful if you're feeling those feelings. So number 4, it helps with love and compassion. When you're connecting to somebody, this chakra area here, the green area, the heart chakra, you're connecting to them. You're, as I say, releasing lovely hormones around your body, lovely, and for theirs too. And you're boosting your immune system, very important, okay, right now. And it also offers compassion and kindness. It develops those feelings. It helps you to be more compassionate and more forgiving, because a hug can heal in so many ways. So it's worth listening or looking, thinking about that, and just listen to your own judgment on that, who to hug. And you'll just feel that heart connection and heal, even if it's been family that you haven't spoken to for years. Just sometimes a hug can heal everything. Perhaps more than words can. Bear that in mind. I've done this. And number 5, the inner child. Yeah, I tend to point to this one for this, because even though they work in different areas, the solar plexus and the lovely light blue area here, but the inner child is about expression and joy, and permission to be. And when you're giving that inner child a hug, or allowing that person to feel that from you, you're feeling validated. They're feeling validated. They've got that feeling of comfort, joy, liberation. It helps you to bring yourself forward out of a situation that wasn't serving you. When this one is open, you're more open to new beginnings. So it's worth doing that for this area as well, isn't it? So any one of these, you might go, yes, I'm doing a hug for that. I'm definitely going to do that. Or all of them. I do it for all of them. Most of all, I do it for the heart chakra, of course, because I love that connection with another soul. I think we're all just one big family, and we need to connect and remember that we're not separate, maybe by situations, but we all have the same feelings, really. And it's good to remember that, to give that feeling of support to another person. So number 6, did I do number 6 already? No, I haven't. That's the third. This is the third eye area. This is the indigo. Okay, here, just in the eye area. So this gives us a feeling of trust. And we all need trust, because when we feel trust, we're not afraid. As I say, we're able to move forward. When we trust ourselves, we're not doubting ourselves. We're giving ourselves a feeling of, okay, I can do this. It's more empowerment through that trust. So when you, excuse me, when you trust yourself, you trust your judgment, you trust what you decide to do for your life, you know, in your life, that day, you tend to trust yourself more. Oh, someone's just given me a big hug. Thank you, darling. Hugs to you too. So yes, it's very good to develop this area. When this one's open, you naturally trust more of your decisions. You trust your world, you trust your feelings. You trust your feelings when this one is open. And this one will open when we have a hug. I trust myself. I trust this person for that moment. And then last but not least, the crown chakra. This one, the purple or violet, some people call it. So we feel connected. We feel connected to another person. We feel connected to our choices in life. Like I say, it connects very well with our feelings. But we feel for a moment we're centered. We're in control. Our soul, our wisdom. We feel grounded. We're in the moment. And we're mindful. So we feel more mindful when we hug people. This one opens, they all open. And most of all, it just feels good, doesn't it? So when you hug somebody, it feels lovely. I mean, you think, you know, I know lots of grands that love to hold their grandchildren, and, you know, it doesn't have to be a female thing. Of course, everybody loves to embrace love. And how good do you feel afterwards? I know one person, I didn't actually think I was going to mention this, but it's come to mind. There was a lovely client of mine who, when he held his grandson, he had a heart condition at the time, and when he held his grandson, he just felt just good in that moment. He felt all of these feelings I've just mentioned. And, you know, he came to see me, and when I was able to monitor what he was feeling and on a physical level, I could see that that condition had definitely improved. And then the doctors confirmed it. He was in a very good physical shape because he was feeling good. His heart that he had an issue with was starting to regulate and be great, and he could be happier and healthier, all because he was hugging and loving that grandchild of his. And I thought, yeah, this is very important. People need to remember how good it feels. And that's why I'm going on about it today. Oh, and people, if they're thinking like, well, I haven't got it now. I had loads of hugs when I had, you know, a lot of people are, perhaps they're missing somebody in their life, okay, for whatever reason. And they haven't got that person now. But the memory of that hug, the memory is almost as good as having. So if those of you that are listening that haven't got someone that used to give them the greatest hugs, and they haven't got them now for whatever reason, give yourself that hug again. Make sure you really imagine and remember that hug. So you're using the memory of a hug. And the memory, as I say, is very powerful on your body. It still releases those hormones and makes you feel those feelings I was telling you about. So that is very good for you, the memory of a hug. So, as I say, David Hamilton, yes, I've already mentioned him. Oh, it's funny how he knew though, isn't it? People generally do know I'm a hugger. I've got that look in my eye. I'm coming, I'm going to give you a hug. I do love it. I do sense the people that are alien to hugs, and I tend to sort of just ask their permission, would you like to just try this little hug? And the connection, the innocence of the love, the feeling of that support I want to give someone else, it makes me happy. And in COVID, when we had COVID, I couldn't do that, and I thought, when we come out of this, I'm going to make sure I do. I'm going to make sure I hug more people than ever before. And you know, it's interesting, I've talked to loads of people and they've all said the same thing. We're not being denied our hugs anymore, they say to me. We're going to do this as often as we can because we're making up for lost time, they say. And they're feeling better for it. You know, it's brought us closer in many ways because we couldn't connect, and how important that was. And mentally, on so many levels, I mean, people did suffer on a mental level when they weren't having that connection with people. So that is another reason why I've introduced this today, the power of a hug, that connection. Oh, hi Al, lovely that you've joined us. Oh, by the way, guys, big hug to you, sorry. When you listen to this, perhaps you could just share it with people, because you know, it might be the one thing that they really need that day to start their week. Or they might be suffering in some way and you don't know that, or they haven't expressed that to anyone. And it's a sad thing when people can't really connect and support each other. So let's change that. Let's be the change. Let's start this off. You know, it's just an epidemic of hugs and connections. And even if you have to hug from a distance, there you go. That's still the heartfelt love, isn't it? And that's going to do you good. It's going to make you laugh as well. Of course it is. It's going to be amusing, but you can do this. So I've got, oh, John, hi, darling. That's lovely, my lovely cousin. He agrees with me. Yeah, and your inner child really does need that. Well done for knowing that. It's really good, John, because we need, most of all, we must never forget our inner child, because that inner child is always there. We try as adults, as we grow up, oh, we don't need hugs, we're independent, we're self-reliant. But all those things are not true. We always need them, no matter how independent you want to be. We always need that connection. It makes us more powerful. And if we can connect to our inner child, like you just reminded me, John, there, thank you. Connect to our inner child, give that inner child a hug, and make sure that you really mean it. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Big hugs and love, says Jane. Oh, thank you, darling. Well, you, of all people, family people like yourself, you know how good it feels. You know, if you grew up in a house that didn't have hugs, this is even more reason for you to change that now. You know, I've got, let's have a look. I've got something I want to recommend here. One tea with Nan. That's all I'm suggesting, just one today. And it was listen to your inner voice. And trust your own judgment, really. That's what it's all about. Listen to your inner voice was on the 12th of the 9th, 22. So you can go onto my website, www.nancyfinch.co.uk, and you can pick that one up from there on my website. Tea with Nans are just the informal things we're doing now, okay? Hi, Joe. Lovely you're here. Happy hugs to you. I'm glad you've joined us. You'll have to listen again, of course, because you've missed most of it, but I think you're going to get the general idea and probably agree. It's really important that we remember to connect with each other. And as I say, listen, if you want to listen to your inner voice on the 12th of the 9th, 22, it helps you to trust your judgment, maybe on who to hug. Because some people go, well, I'm not sure if I can feel safe enough to hug that person. Then don't do it. Only hug the people you feel safe to hug. That's the thing. And the more you listen to your inner voice, the more you're going to know who that is. And it's always about love, isn't it? And as I say, support. So COVID put an end to our primal needs of being hugged. So let's cherish the safe hugs we get now. That's what I want you to remember. I had a little note here to remind me. It is very important to give that emphasis, that mindfulness. Instead of handshakes, why don't we break the rules? Why don't we stop that? Why don't we just think, okay, handshakes are all very nice and professional, but what happened to that? You know, we break down barriers if we hug. It's not a bad thing. Well, it's up to your discretion as to who you hug, as I say, it's always. But I, myself, speaking from my point of view, that I know straight away who I can hug and who I can't. Most of the time I can. And I will always trust that intuition that says, I can do this. And it makes me happy. I couldn't be happier. I love that. But being without that for that couple of years that we had COVID and lockdown and everything. Oh, hi, Sammy. Happy hugs. When we had lockdown, when we had COVID, that was the worst thing for me. It really was. And it's very important right now. I'm even more of a hugger because of it. And I'm adamant about it. I'm suggesting that if it's new to you, give it a little go and hug yourself. Maybe start with that. Okay. Hi, Sammy. It's lovely you're here. And thank you, Ron, for joining us. Thank you. So happy hugs to all of you. You know, I say it every week, as you know, because I love that connection we have, the Namaste heartfelt moments that I'm sending you the support, the strength for the week. I'm sending you hope. I'm sending you higher vibration feelings and inspiration. And all of my talks on my website, either the Tea with Nans or the Nan Talks, which are just exercises, and my meditations, they're all there to support you. They're all free. They're all there just for you to enjoy, to share, and to really keep your emotional self higher, your balloon higher, and to keep you physically well. That's a very important thing as well. You know, if you can be the best version of yourself through those things, then you can be more for other people, collective consciousness. Oh, here comes the seagull. I've got a pet seagull. He sits on the top of my roof here. You're going to listen to him jumping around up there in a minute. But we've come to an end anyway, so it won't be too disruptive. Enjoy your week. I hope have found some people are still not used to giving a handshake, let alone a hug. Oh, Annie, I was going to go, but you're absolutely right. You'll know those people, bless them. People who cannot hug, don't judge them too hard, because it usually means that they haven't got the courage or the confidence to connect. You know, they need it more. I'm thinking about my friend, going back to my friend who just didn't want to do any connection, like you suggest just then. Some people don't even want a handshake or any connection. They're afraid, or they're, hi Ellen, and hi Naomi. Hugs to both of you. So some people cannot or don't want to go near that hug or connection or handshake or whatever, because they're afraid, or because we've got to validate their feelings. They've got, you know, got to make sure that they feel that that is okay for them, and we must respect that. But we can still send them a hug. We can still imagine we hug them. That's almost the same. They'll get the feeling, and we must understand that they've got their reasons. It might take a while before they can warm up or feel trust, or to develop that courage to do so. Hugs to you, says Naomi. Oh, hugs to you too, my sweet. Oh, so lovely. You see, already you'll have more energy just by thinking about having a hug, or listening to this. You know, I'm giving you hugs every 5 minutes, and use it. Use that energy to bring you in a higher place, to make better decisions, to give you the strength you need for the week or whatever, to get over challenges. A simple hug. And if we can just explain to people who are afraid of hugs, this is so good for you on so many levels. When you feel safe, I will hug you. That's what you could say to people like that. And in the meantime, your heart feels it. You're still giving them a hug with your heart, even if it's at a distance. So enjoy that. Enjoy what experience you have with giving a hug, or at the very least, giving yourself a hug. And for those of you who can't go out much, and you're stuck indoors a lot, and you're on your own maybe, then remember, use your memory of the best hugs you've ever had from the people you love, and really embrace yourself with that memory, and give yourself a hug. Oh, I think that's it for today, and time has marched on as always. I always think it's going to be about 15-20 minutes, but you know, it's near enough 30. But I love talking to you all. So enjoy this Tea with Nan. Obviously, the power of a hug is very important. And if you want to talk to me and perhaps even come back with some comments, oh, how great you feel from this, you can always email me on nancyfinch@hotmail.co.uk. I hope you all get a chance to hug yourself and others, and remember the power of the hug. And I'm going to send you a namaste hug right now, and lots of love to all of you. And stay happy. Keep your emotional balloon high, and I will see you next Monday at 12 o'clock. Oh, hi Vicky, you've joined us late, darling. Just have a listen and share this with everybody. You never know what good it can do for your family and friends. Lots of love to everybody. Bye everyone. Lots of love. Bye.